goal kicker, Taylor Walker, with a welcome off. Here's Roselli. Roselli kicks the goal.
Handball to the excitement machine, McLeod. Left foot goal.
Oh, don't tell me.
He's a superstar.
Don't tell me. Oh! He's yet to kick an AFL goal. Oh, the velvet curtain.
Walker, oh, he's a colossus. He's kicked 5. He's been a handful. He's been the difference.
To cover himself in glory.
He's coming back.
And got there.
Hello and welcome to Proper Crows podcast. Whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple or YouTube, just want to say thank you for your support. Probably sounds a little bit different today because our usual host Benny is tied up with other things, so you're left with me today. We'll be running through the qualifying final loss against the Pies, the AFLW loss to the Lions, the SANFL loss to Norwood, and then we'll go through your feedback, some general news and a little bit more. But it's not just me here. We've got Dom. How are you, mate?
I've been better. I'm better today than I was a few days ago, but you know, looking forward to the future and to Friday night.
Yes, very much. And we've also got Matt back as well. Good to have you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, much better this week than I was obviously last week on Thursday. So yeah, looking forward to this week's game.
Yes, it's been a bit grim. I'll throw over to you, Dom. Have you got the scores there from last Thursday night, mate?
I do indeed. So unfortunately, as most people know, we went down by 4 goals. Adelaide 8-7-55 to Collingwood 11-13-79. Pedlar kicked 3. I'll talk more about that later. I'm sure there's a few people with some receipts for me. Tex and Thilthorpe both kicked 2 and Dawson 1. So yeah, not really much more to say on that. We'll dive into it a bit deeper in a minute, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty grim, wasn't it? You know, we went in with so much confidence and we really thought that we're going to walk away with a win and just sort of prance into a prelim, I think, a little bit there. But it was just a sort of a shit show from the get-go, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, our record against Collingwood in finals is awful. We lost every final we played against Collingwood. And obviously with Hawthorn coming up, another team we've had a very bad record in finals against. Our last win against them in a final was our first ever final in 1993, a bit before I was born. So that doesn't bode well too much, but obviously it's a completely different team we're playing. And we have beaten Hawthorn this year at Adelaide Oval, and Hawthorn's recent record at Adelaide Oval isn't too good. So I'll give us an opportunity to bounce back. Obviously we need to keep our season alive. And yeah, I think we'll be able to look after him, hopefully. Oh,
look, let's hope so, because you know it was a very somber feeling on Thursday night walking out of there, and I think I think the issue started with the lack of the forward structure. You know, we were just sort of bombing it in long, and it just didn't work. I think we were beaten in the coach's box pretty early when we saw Darcy Moore go to Tex. How did you see that matchup, Dom, and how did you sort of see how the forward line structure didn't really work compared to what it has been?
It just goes back to it had the same vibe as Pedlar on Tom Stewart. Not like hanging shit on Tex, because he was probably our best forward, but it just went back to the whole crowd. Every time the ball got kicked forward, there was almost a unanimous don't kick it towards Darcy Moore. And then of course, Darcy Moore would just appear because he was peeling off of Tex every time the ball went anywhere near, because he knew that he would get away from him. And we just couldn't handle it. Like, we tried to match it. We had Curtin playing as a spare. I don't think that was the right call. They should have just gone man on man, made Darcy Moore accountable. You can't just... And it's not even like it was a surprise. Like, yeah, Darcy Moore's probably been down on form, but he's an all-Australian calibre centre-half back has been one of the best interceptors in the comp, and we just let him do what he wanted. And it's one of those things where you'd thought that they would have changed something at quarter time, like anything. They would have seen it happening in front of them and gone, okay, we need to change, and it just... Nothing changed. If anything, it got worse. We started getting pumped out of the middle, especially early in that third quarter. Like, it was just... We just got smashed everywhere.
Yeah, it just, from, we've got a great view of sort of around the ground from up in our spot in the hill track behind the goals, and, it just felt like Tex was way too slow to be standing Darcy Moore, and that's sort of what I was alluding to of, the fly beat us just all night, all around the ground, and I think that was the number one thing. But just touching on Tex a little bit more, how did you find him in game 300, Matt?
Well, he started the game like a house on fire, and obviously kicked a few very good goals, and he's obviously going to be the type of player for a milestone like this that was always going to stand up. You can just know that he'd worked so hard to get to 300 games. A lot of people didn't really expect him to get to that milestone, me included. So I think he's definitely still our main guy, along with obviously Phil Thorpe, and Fogarty obviously was very disappointing, which we'll touch on later. So I think the forward line cohesion is still there, just needed to be a little bit more efficient. Darcy Moore was pretty elite as he always is in these kind of big games. So yeah, just very disappointing.
Yeah, Darcy Moore was a little bit more of a speech merchant on Thursday night, which is a bit disappointing because he's been pretty woeful the last 6 weeks, and in Adelaide Football Club fashion, we sort of played someone into form. But it just sucked, didn't it?
It's all there's a little bit of onus on the players as well to just communicate better. Like, I feel like there could have been some form of they could have tried to force a swap. Like, Thilf could have just played off of Darcy Moore, but I get the lack of experience. He's probably not going to know to do that, and I guess Tex isn't going to want to pull him off of his man. But I think there's a little bit of onus on the players to work it out on field as well as the coaches. Like, there was clearly some kind of directive to not handball, not move it fast, just to settle the nerves and play into the game slowly. Because I guess there was the, the whole backdrop of 16 players playing their first final. The nerves going to get to them. Is the occasion going to get to them? Like, you don't want to. But I think that was almost a mistake. That just play our natural game, take the risk we normally take. Then we get burnt sometimes, but it's so good to watch when it works, and it works most of the time if they're playing with confidence. And it seems like they just weren't playing with any confidence. It was just long down the line, straight line footy, pretty much all night until that last quarter. And even then, the last quarter, we still didn't do much with it. It was just
it was frustrating not to sort of see a first opportunity give and go, which we've seen so often this season. I think the biggest one for me was, I think it was midway through a second quarter or maybe start of a third quarter. Sam Berry got a clean break moving through the forward half, and could have easily given off to Dawson to his right, but instead he got done holding the football. He could have easily given it, and they turned over and they scored from that. It was just it was tough to watch. Even though it was quite a tight first half, the Collingwood sort of, more matured heads just ran away with it, and you just kind of felt midway through that third we're just going to get really trampled on. Did you sort of like how we sort of stayed in it, Matt, or are you still a little bit disappointed with us losing by that 4 or 5 goals?
Oh, it's surprisingly it's our biggest losing margin of the season. Doesn't feel that's believable, because most teams, like you look at Brisbane a few weeks ago, lost to Gold Coast by nearly 90 points, and even Geelong have had a fair share of disappointing hidings as well this year, and yeah, but I think for our standards, massive drop-off from our normal home performances. But I just feel the momentum leading into the finals with everything that has gone down. It definitely threw the players off, I believe. And you can see the signs in that North game. It wasn't a complete performance at all heading into a final. I just think the lights were a bit too bright, particularly for some of the younger players that may or may not should have played in that final. And I dare say there'll be a few players that are going to come out the team.
Yeah, 100%. But I think one bloke where the lights weren't too bright, Josh Worrell. 26 touches, 6 marks. He fought hard all night. He didn't give up. He just played his usual game, and he was so clean with the footy when he found it. How did you find his game, boys?
I'd hate to see what the score looked like if he wasn't playing. Because even Mark Keane was a bit off, given his matchup was a bit more difficult. And he's got credits in the bank, but yeah, I'd hate to see what it would have looked like without Worrell back there. I think he had a bit of a chip on his shoulder, All-Australian selection as well, and he just proved, Probably should have got the blazer. And he was, but by far our best on ground. Like I said, I think it would have been a much different story if he wasn't out there. Because there was a lot of players around the ground that didn't play well, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, like I've said, it scares me to think about what it would have looked like without him out there.
Yeah, it was yuck, wasn't it? It just wasn't. It wasn't great. Do we? Look, I'm just talking about it, and thinking about it now. I'm just starting to get pissed off again. I'm really starting to get pissed off with it.
No, well said.
But
it's just one of those games you want to put in your back memory and just try and forget about it. Had a lot of inklings of that 2005 qualifying final loss to St Kilda, but obviously losing to Collingwood in a final is nowhere near as bad as losing to St Kilda in a final in any season. So that.
Well
yeah,
said.
no, I'll give you that. And I think, sort of going off topic a little bit here, that I think what makes me crash out the most is that Collingwood chant that just rings around the fucking stadium whenever they get a run on. How
so
infuriating is it?
It's one of those things where when they're not playing us, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you hear it live at your home ground, and it just fills me with so much fucking rage. Like, it's just, like, there's not many things about footy that I'm more of like I get like upset rather than angry with footy. That makes me so fucking angry. Like, oh man, I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's
See the steam coming out your ears, even though we're
No,
not.
genuinely. Like, straight cartoon fucking
Crusty.
steam out the
Was
ears,
it
red
Mr.
eyes.
Mr. Crab meme emoji?
Genuinely though, oh man.
I think with the influx of Collingwood fans there, it really does make you think. It's a Crows home game. We've earned a home final. Why was there such a 50-50, nearly even split between the two fan bases? And obviously a lot of fans.
It was an even split.
It did feel like an even split, but they definitely made more noise than us, obviously because they won the game. But
Yeah.
there was a bit too many of them there for my liking. So
yeah, but half their supporters aren't woke either, so that probably doesn't affect this. That probably
they're not woke, but they're not intelligent either.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, they've been coming hard on TikTok. Not sure if you boys have seen that, but
Yeah.
fuck, they're ripping me to shreds over on that platform.
Probably deserved.
No, I didn't say shit. I just said we're going to create a hostile atmosphere, and as we know, we.
I mean, we did for the first like 45 seconds till Nick Dacos kicked that goal, and then it was a bit rough, but.
Yeah, it went a bit grim from there.
I'll just be flat out that the atmosphere for most parts on that Thursday night was just dead. It just doesn't. It's the Crows are not a Thursday night club. We never have been. Our only 2 home losses this year have been on Thursdays. So I just feel Friday night coming up against Hawthorn, the atmosphere is just going to have to lift.
Yeah.
Would you say Thursday nights are woke?
Thursday nights are great for those that just want to sit at home, watch footy, and not go to the game. But for those who are going to a game, it's not the right atmosphere for it at all.
Thursday night footy's unreal. Like you said, it's unreal when you don't have to go. When you can just sit at home, watch it, have dinner. Like for me, like I'll do some uni work with it on in the background. Like it's unreal. But then we play on a Thursday night, and I'm like, fuck's sake, I have uni tomorrow. Like I don't really want to get too rowdy. I need to have a voice. Like I need to get to bed kind of early. Like it just sucks. It's not a vibe.
It doesn't. Crows Collingwood just isn't a Thursday night fixture, is it? More of a Bulldogs Carlton is a real Thursday night fixture.
Yeah,
Well,
some like real mid-Victorian teams.
Well, Crows Collingwood in 2014 was on a Thursday, and that was our first ever Thursday game, I think in general, but definitely our first Thursday night game at the Adelaide Oval, and the atmosphere was amazing then. So
yeah, but the novelty of the Thursday night wore off.
I was getting to that, Dom. If you so really interrupted me.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, it's with 18 Thursday games a year now. It's the novelty has indeed worn off, and for a final, it makes sense because you get an extra day's break and it helps the players. There is that positive. So, but for those who are attending the game as a fan, it's just not a great atmosphere at all.
I do kind of understand it as well, because it either means if there's no Thursday night final in the week 1, it means there's either like a 1 p.m. game on the Saturday. No one wants to play a final at fucking midday on a Saturday, or there's a Sunday final. No one wants to play final on a Sunday, so I get it, but
Hasn't been a Sunday final since Richmond Kangaroos 10 years ago, and I was at that game as well, so I'm pretty sure it's been 10 years. Because, the
that's
West...
what I mean. Like, no one
West
wants
Coast,
that fixture.
yeah, the first
Yeah,
Thursday...
but that was a proper football fixture though.
That was...
None of his, none of his Thursday woke nonsense. I feel like we
Yeah.
were a proper nation back then, but we're gonna move on.
proper politics.
When the gears weren't really turning in the midfield, Matty Nicks did go to a plan B, and he went to Rory Laird. And he really stepped up. He got that first centre clearance in the last quarter. He had 24 touches, 6 clearances, and it sort of felt like COVID years again, seeing him just run amok through there. How did you find his little midfield stint, Dom?
I'll give him his flowers because he was quite good. I think he really gave something to the midfield we didn't have. We needed that, like, inside grunt. Because, I think a full season of midfield minutes is probably catching up with Solly and Berry a little bit. They were a little bit like a step behind all night, which I'm happy to, they're, third, fourth year midfielders, fair enough. They're going to tax a bit. But man, it was seriously grim seeing Ben Keys and Rory Laird at a centre bounce in 2025. I will say that.
Talking about Ben Keys, we did touch on the fact he never scored a goal against Collingwood. Carrying that momentum into a game against Collingwood to play a game that poor is not surprising after hearing that stat.
I thought he'd come out firing, to be honest. I thought it would.
I'd say it's probably it was his first final in 150 odd games, so disappointing obviously to come out and play a game so ineffective and to not even get a goal on the board as well. It's very disappointing.
And I'm convinced that that's part of the reason why he was calling for that ball so hard
wanted the goal
at the end of the Thilthorpe incident.
Oh,
he just wanted that stat.
I'm not even getting onto that Thilthorpe incident because that is just fucking.
We're going to have to touch on it. The people are going to want to hear our thoughts on it. It's
Let's do it now. Let's get it out of the way. What the fuck was he thinking?
Yeah, man.
Well, I was right behind it. We were all right behind it. Just kick the fucking goal, Riley. It's
yeah.
As basic as you can possibly get on the run. He's been kicking goals like that all year.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. That behind the goal angle.
Oh, that was so grim.
Oh, it infuriates me.
I think the best way to describe it, right, is I can't remember if I told you boys or not, but I've said it on here before. Obviously, my lovely girlfriend is Canadian, and she likes footy, but she doesn't fully like. There's a lot of stuff to get your head around with footy, so she's not fully across it yet. And when that happened, even she looked at me and said, "What the fuck was that? Why did he do that?" And I was like, "That's grim." Like, someone that's only been watching footy for 5 months even knows, like, that was fucking stupid. Like, why did he do that?
Yeah, that caused a genuine crash out. And
I've never heard a louder collective groan at a game than that when Keys got tackled. And everyone just went, "Oh my God," like, at the exact same time.
Yeah, that was just...
unbelievable.
It was different.
It's the first time you've heard a collective groan like that since all of our elderly fan base was still alive at Amy Stadium days. that collective, everyone just on the team's back at the same time sort of atmosphere after that miss. So
Genuinely.
Yeah, it was a genuine, the Sav Blanc and the Chardonnays right out at Amy Stadium.
Yeah,
It's like,
it just the sounds of the 2007 season right there.
Yeah, well said.
Just before the noise meter comes in.
Yeah,
I can't believe they tried to bring that woke nonsense back. By the way.
I know. I saw that and I was like, face pointing.
You talk about novelties that wore off quick. The noise meter, it worked well for the first time we brought it in against Geelong in 2010 when we beat them in an unbelievable upset. Watch that game on YouTube; it's just epic to watch. But after that, you don't bring things like that in that just no one's interested in, and it doesn't really lift the team at all. So I think. They did bring it back, I think, halfway through this year, and then they just never used it again, did they? Or
it was there. It was there on Thursday night.
It came up on Thursday night, but no one noticed. No one cares. No one
noticed it. Yeah.
But it's like, do you want to know? While we're on proper nostalgia talk for a second, one thing that I would love to hear. Imagine like it's half time, the Oz kick kids are out, and then you just hear Aussie, 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 Aussie Ripper Roast, Aussie Ripper Roast, your spit roast caterers. Oh, dude, I would do anything. Oh man, bring back the Matani chicken salt sign while we're at it too.
Oh, dear.
Oh, can we not do Matani chicken salt talk, please?
Please, yeah, it's.
Sorry.
I will
trying
say
to-
the kiosks at Amy Stadium were next level, underground, proper old school.
Oh, dude, the hot dogs at Amy Stadium that were just like Don skinless fucking. There's just 1,000 of them in a fucking bin of hot water. They put it in some soggy ass bun, but fuck, it was so good, man.
But now you've got those woke sauerkrauts, you know, the gourmet ones that you can't fit your mouth around.
God forbid someone wants a glizzy that's just a bloody dog in a bun, dude, with a bit of sauce.
If you want proper catering at Crows games, bring back the churro truck that was present at AB Stadium and also Adelaide United games in the early 2010s,
Yeah.
late 2000s.
Well said.
Just whoever the bloke behind that counter was, I hope you are listening to this. Please come back. You are still with us. Feed us that cinnamon
Well
goodness.
said.
Oh, we'll agree, but we'll get back to the footy, boys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one name, and then I'm gonna throw to you first, Dom, and then I'm gonna go to you, Matt. All right.
Okay.
Hugh Bond.
Me first, or
We'll go Dom first.
I've
Go
got.
on.
It's a tough one. I think the selection was wrong. I don't think Max ever should have played forward. I would have dropped Bond purely out of we've got a future All-Australian centre half back pocket, whatever you want to call him, coming back. Like, sorry mate, thank you for your service. You'll be called upon again, but unlucky. I get backing him in because he did a good job on Elliott last time, but man, he got smoked in that first half.
Well, he got towed.
He got absolutely cooked. There was a few good. He still had a few good moments. I will say that. But a majority of the time, it was very much heart and mouth stuff. Whenever it went near him and Elliott in a one-on-one.
Yeah.
I don't think he holds his spot this week purely out of like matchups, because I think we'll need Max back regarding Hawthorn's forward line. But even without that, I think I don't know. What do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, it's a tricky one because who do you reckon would come in for him unless Max obviously goes down back? But if you look at the last game he played on Dylan Moore, he played a decent role on him. But I don't think he's going to keep his spot. You'd have to take about 2 players at least from Thursday night and just get rid of them, dispose of them, and don't let them play any more finals, because there was a few of them that just do not feel like finals players and really just look lost out there. And I can think of a few: Hugh Bond, Zach Taylor, Fogarty. Fogarty's obviously not going to get dropped, but if we had the backup, you'd probably.
He was poor. He was real poor.
He was really poor.
Well, going back to your comments last week, Dill, you said Fogarty loves the attention, a big name kind of player. You were completely wrong about that. One thing I was completely right about, and you can go back to last week's episode, Luke Pedler, take a fucking bow.
Yeah.
What an absolute superb game for a first final. No one's talking about you, no one's hyping you up, and you go out there, snag 3 goals in an 8-goal performance.
Yeah, I'm going to take the floor quickly. Dom, fucking say sorry right now.
No. I'll stand on business. What I said on Thursday night.
You can stand on business all you want, but you're completely...
He's an average player that had a good game.
You are a tosser.
He is an average player that had a good
You can
game.
be a B-grade player and still turn up in a final, and that's exactly what he did.
No, mate. I said he was him and Worrell were probably our 2 best. However, that doesn't change my opinion. I need to see consistency before.
So if he doesn't get on Friday night, we apologise live on this podcast.
He kicks 3, I'll apologise.
I don't think he'll get 3. I think it's going to be hard to back a 3-goal final. I think he'll get maybe.
I just said,
2
I
goals.
want to see if I think he's played a good game, if he backs it up, I'll apologise. But caveated by, if he stinks it up, if he has 4 touches and gets subbed at 3/4 time, you're apologising to me and
Why
telling
would I
me that.
apologise to you?
And you
For?
no, you're telling me that I was right and that he's an average player that had a good game.
Well, as I said, he's an average player and he had a good game, but you still got to acknowledge the fact that how wrong you were. Because I knew that he was going to show up.
Wrong about. I never said he was going to play bad in the fight. I wasn't even on the pod last week.
Well, you
I never said he was going to play bad. I will always stand on business that I don't think that he is. He's too inconsistent to be an AFL footballer. If he finds consistency, I will back him in forever. I actually really like him as a player. I think he's got unbelievable hands for his size. He's clean below the waist. He throws his body around like nothing I've ever seen before, except Lockie Murphy. But Pedler actually touches the ball, which is nice. But, like I said, the consistency thing is a massive issue, and I think it is scary to think that he is a player that, yeah, he can go out there and have 12 touches and kick 3, but the other side of the coin, he can also touch the ball 2 times to 3/4 time. That is my issue with him.
No, fair enough. Like, I've never rated him highly, but I did rate him enough that he was going to play a good final, and I was correct on that. So I'm happy with my prediction. So let's move on, Bill.
I'll just say quickly, I will back him. I think I will back him in again because I want the Crows to succeed, and I'm a bit of a hater, but like I said, he was definitely top 3 best on ground on Thursday, and I'm backing him in to do it again. I think he probably is supported by Rash coming back. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I'll back him in.
We'll go straight into that conversation of, does Josh Rochelle play?
Yes.
Yes.
If he's fit, he plays. That's
if he's
simple
good. If he's good to go, we just run him. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to lay it all on the line this week. We know we can have a few injured Warriors or wounded soldiers coming into the prelim and get battered against Geelong, but at least we fielded our best team possible in a do or die final, and you got to do that. You got to take these kind of risks. There's no guarantee that Rochelle will play in a prelim. We might be rushing him back, and it could affect potentially a grand final appearance. I don't think it'll be that extreme. I think if he's near enough to play, to be good enough to play, then put him on the ground. I think he's going to be an impact player. He's completely proven in certain circumstances that he's a clutch player, and that's exactly what we need.
The fact that he was in the conversation to play last week, he'll play. If he's fit, he plays. It's not even a thing of... I'm a big believer of, like, if a player's not 100%, you probably shouldn't play them, especially if they're as a sub, because if you don't think they can run out a full game and someone goes down in the first 10 minutes, you're in some strife. But...
Nat 5.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a semi-final. It doesn't fucking matter. Get him out there. He will want to play. He's not gonna shy away from it. And it's Rochelle. He'll give 110%. He's one of those players where he's built for the big stage. He wants to see his name up in lights, and if he gets an opportunity to make that happen, he's gonna do it. And anyone that thinks he shouldn't be in the team needs psychiatric intervention.
Well, that's a polite way of saying your real thoughts, Dom.
Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Matthew, but...
Yes, well, as you said, big games need your big-time players. Even if he is at 75%, I would just say, fuck it, put him on the ground. You could be anyone on that field can get injured, anything bad can happen to them. But for a do-or-die final, just take the risk. It is every step along the way, just take as much risk as you possibly can.
Yeah. And with it being a do-or-die final, obviously no Isaac Rankin, still suspended, unfortunately. Do you think that Rush takes that Rankin role? Would you change up the midfield mix? Because it doesn't seem like Van Berlo and Nixie have got the midfield mix right in, probably over the past 12 weeks. I'd say it's been a real downfall for us. Where do we go from here? I know that we chucked a Roy Laird into the midfield, but he's 31 years old, and it didn't quite sort of help where we need to. But I'm going to go back, 20 years, and we sort of chucked in a young kid who hadn't really played too much midfield minutes back in 97, 98, and we sort of know how that went with Andrew McLeod. Is there an Andrew McLeod in this side who could go into the middle and change the entire way that we look at a midfield? I'm thinking of a certain Dan Curtin. I don't know where you boys stand with getting him in at this stage of the season, but something needs to change, I think.
I don't. I think you have to demand more of the current midfielders before you try and shake up a midfield mix you've been using all season going into a do or die final. I think I would die for this man, but Jordan Dawson was down, and I think that exposed the rest of them tenfold compared to what it normally would. I've come on here a lot and talk about my worry about the midfield. I think we're at least one short, or we're one consistent midfielder short, i.e. Peatling, Solly, coming in and out of games a bit too much. And I think there has to be some conversations around, like, Nixie and VB have to demand more from a Peatling who is a seasoned player. Like, I shouldn't say seasoned, but, he's got the age experience, Solly as well, even, like Bez. They've got at least 50 games under their belt. They should be at a point where they're able to compete, and we just didn't see that at all on Thursday. And I really want to see Curtin in the midfield. You're absolutely right. I think he has the potential to be, the next Cripps Bond type midfielder. No, I'm not saying he's going to be before people start saying I made comparisons. But there's potential there. He's the same build. But yeah, it freaks me out in a final, because if they change the midfield mix and it doesn't work, and Curtin doesn't do what we need him to, that it could backfire horribly.
Yeah, I fully agree. And obviously, being a final, just you don't want to take. I just said got to take all the risks you possibly can, but I guess in a midfield mix, you don't want to mix things up too much and make an overwhelm our already working. Well, hasn't been a working system, but it could overwhelm the players that are used to what they're doing out there every week, basically.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with Curtin going in there, like, every now and then. Like, even if he has 5 or 6 CBAs, that's fine. But I don't think he should be having like 20. I mean, well, if we get to 20, who knows how many there'll be goals kicked. But
Yeah.
even if he goes to 5 or 6, just to inject something different in there every now and then, that I'm absolutely all for. Because the exposure would be good for him, but I don't know about full-time, like 20 CBA areas. I think it's a dangerous game to play in a semi.
100%, and I think you've touched on it pretty well with Jordan Dawson. I thought he was poor on Thursday night. Not sure if I'm being too critical because of how high we do hold him, but I thought he was really, really poor on Thursday night. For someone who we really thought would step on the big stage, he just didn't do too much, did he? But I think that was also a coaching side of it as well. I thought he was just sort of left to rot in the midfield where we were getting smashed up.
Yeah.
Something needed to change. He needed to go behind the footy or even go forward to the football, which I think may happen on Friday night. But we'll touch on that a little bit after during the preview. We're going to go to our 3-2-1s now. I'll go to you first, Dom. Who did you have in at 1 vote?
I think I'm tossing up between 1 and 2 right now. I think I'm going to go Pedler with the 1. He tried his heart out all night. He was brilliant in the air, as he always is, kick 3. I think he played the small forward role as well as you really can, especially given the circumstances. And, regarding the matchup, the competition, I think he was great. So he can have a vote. And he's definitely stiff to not get the 2, but I'll talk more about that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll go to you now, Matt. 1 vote.
One vote, I'll probably give it to Tex, just out a bit of a bias, because I think for a 300th game, he did still play a decent role, kicked a few goals, and tried to get the team going when he could. So I'll give Tex one vote.
Yep, I'm going the same. I'm going Tex with one vote as well. We'll go to you, Dom, for your 2 votes.
Well, I've gone Tex for 2. I think he was the most imposing forward we had. He was okay up the ground. He had a few moments he'd probably like back, regarding like shots on goal. That one where he played on and snapped around the corner instead of just taking his time and going back and kicking it. But I think he was our most threatening forward. Thilthorpe was still, Thilthorpe was great still, as he always is. But I think he did a little bit more damage up the ground, which again, it probably, I don't know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, I'll go Tex the 2. He was probably our most threatening forward, and in game 300, he definitely showed up when a lot of other people didn't.
Yeah, and we'll go to you, Matt. I have a feeling that me and you are going to have the same votes here.
Yeah, 2. I'll go with Luke Pedler, just because of how much I did hope that he would have a good game, and he did, and I'm delighted with that. But yeah, I just think in general, no one's going to hype him up and talk him up as a potential finals player, and he just completely proved everyone wrong after his first final. So I'm very happy with that. So, but for 3 votes, I'll give it to Josh Worrell. I just think it was a kind of a response in a way to not getting named in the All Australian team. 26 touches. Obviously, the ball went down there a fair bit, but I thought he was very good in a disappointing defensive night for the team.
Yeah, I'm going to say that, it's completely agree, and I'm going to say for that reason, Dom, me and you are going to have the exact same 3 votes with Joshy Worrell.
Yes, sir. Can't really look past him. Like I said earlier, he was our best on ground. God knows what the score would look like if he wasn't back there. And like we touched on earlier, and like Matt just said, completely agree. It definitely seemed like a bit of a response to missing out on what should have been his inaugural All-Australian blazer, but hopefully he'll be better off for it next year and make it impossible to not pick him.
Yeah, 100%. Look, is there anything else that you boys want to touch on before we move on?
I think
Yeah, go on.
I just think we need to give Tex some flowers as well. We probably didn't talk about him much. Game 300, what an achievement. He's been through so much with this football club. Like, basically everything you can imagine someone going through at a footy club has happened to him. He's been to the almost top of the mountain and then right back to the bottom, and now he's right back trying to climb back to the top after all he's been through, both like personally and professionally. I think it is incredible achievement to reach 300 games, and we're very lucky to have someone like him at the football club.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly to reach 300 games, 35 years old. He's obviously an ACL injury in 2013, few heavier suspensions here and there, and as I said like last week, a lot of people said in 2020 he should have retired. I never felt that way. But yeah, on the milestone itself, 300 games, maybe a controversial view, but I don't like the fact that finals and milestones mix, because it kind of does take the gloss off the final a bit, or at least in this case, I don't think it did, because the focus was mainly on the final. But to lose a final, everyone's kind of dejected. I personally didn't stay in the ground for the chair off, which is something I, in a way, do regret. I think a lot of people just kind of disappointed with the loss and not thinking about anything else. I do feel like game 300, a milestone like that, would have been better if it was a regular season game, standalone, no distractions, just everyone can go there and enjoy it. But it didn't align. It obviously pumped up the final in a way to make it a lot bigger, but I don't think against Collingwood you need any more ammunition for that one. So yeah, I would have loved to have stayed in the ground to see him chaired off, but I think a lot of people just weren't really thinking at the time. More just disappointment, wanting to get out the stadium and go home.
Yeah. I do agree with that, because I was halfway down North Terrace when the final siren went. So
yep.
I do agree, and I probably will regret not being there for Texas 300 chair off, but it is what it is.
But we will be there for game 301, which is going to be even better. So
it better be. I've just got one player that I do want to point out, and I don't want to expand on it anymore. Darcy Fogarty, pull your fucking finger out. But yeah, look, we're gonna move on from there.
No, you don't have to comment if you don't want. But man, I've never seen someone that is so well built and strong and so like unbelievably strong through his core and in his legs just get thrown off the ball how many times he did. He didn't even try. He was just getting thrown around all night. Yes, that bloody report has come out that the flu swept through the club or whatever, so he may have been sick. But, oh man, come on, man. You're built like a bloody... You're huge. You are massive. You are a big man. And the way he was manhandled by all of Collingwood's defenders, even Isaac Quainer got the better of him a couple of times, who is undermanned and undersized compared to Fogg. Just, oh man.
Just on the topic of the flu, imagine if we made finals 3 years ago and players by AFL's rules weren't able to play because of COVID. Just
move on. No. We're not doing this.
Yeah, I mean,
I know what you're gonna say, and yeah, but
no, it's nothing to do with politics. I just remember a game when Brisbane they had to take out 10 players against Essendon, and they lost that game to Essendon at the Gabba because there was players with COVID. And then I think a week later they just said this is bullshit. We can't have a season operate like this anymore, and they just got rid of that mandate.
Yeah, look, in the same season as well, you know, people wanted us to lose draft picks because we trained with more than 6 people in a group. But anyway, what a time that was. We're going to move on to our social media comments and questions that we've had. If you do want to give us a follow, you can go to @propercrowspod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. A few stickers actually popped up around the Oval. I'm not sure if you boys noticed that on Thursday night, and you know it was good to see people really getting around us, and you know a few fans printing stickers off. So we do thank you for that. But anyway, we've got a question here. Pardon me. Fuck. Jesus. From Matt Warren over on Facebook. It's a bit of a long-winded one, so bear with me here. He said he wants to discuss how we can go from great decision-making to incredibly poor decision-making in the blink of an eye. In all honesty, Thilthorpe puts that goal through like he would every other week, instead of handballing it backwards to Keys and it's 13 points and game on. Why was Keys calling for it in the first place? We called for the ball so many times in bad situations and got punished for it. Was this just being overwhelmed by the occasion, or is the game plan just not finals worthy? I think that's a little bit harsh there towards the end about the game plan not being finals worthy. Where do you stand with it, Dom?
I think it all comes down to them all being overwhelmed by the situation. I don't think it has anything to do with the game plan, because he's answered his own question at the start there. Normally, Thilthorpe would kick that. I don't think it's anything to do with the game plan. Given there were some holes in it, but I think we went away from our usual game plan, which was the issue, not our, the whole process we normally play by. But yeah, I think it had to be in the back of Keys' mind that he wanted to play well and he wanted to get on the score sheet and get up and about. Thilthorpe is, it's his vice captain calling for it, who's a veteran of the club. You're probably not going to burn him, but again, Keys should have known better. And there's a lot of instances where players were calling for the ball where they shouldn't have, and I think it was more the occasion than anything, and they'll learn from that. And I think that's something that has been brought up a lot, that, we were inexperienced in finals, and I wouldn't like to use it as an excuse, and I don't think it was. We did just get outplayed. But some of our decision-making, it absolutely does come down to inexperience in the big games and wanting to have a moment where you need to just play a team game and get to the end, and then you can have your moment in the grand final when you're lifting the cup. Like, that's as simple as that.
Yeah. How about you, Matt? Where do you stand with the game plan, and is it finals worthy, or is this a massive sort of knee-jerk reaction, overreaction from Matt?
I guess we'll find out more on Friday. The game plan did not stack up with Collingwood's in any way. It's just it obviously is finals experience versus no finals experience. I think it's something that we did sort of in a way fear that how would we stack up against teams that play finals regularly pretty much every year. Hawthorn with the young group, they obviously didn't play finals for a while, and they've got now 3 finals under their belt, and 2 of them have been at Adelaide Oval. So you just think, are they going to respond to that semi-final loss last year? Obviously, those Hawthorn players were very dirty when they lost to Port Adelaide, with obviously what Hinkley had done and how the media perceived them. But I think it's a very, very even game coming up this weekend, and it's a genuine 50-50. I'm hoping and confident in a way that we'll win, but it's a tough one to really predict.
It is a really tough one, because I think I do agree with you that it is a genuine 50-50, and the fact we're $1.60 favourites just doesn't sit too well with me.
Yeah, those odds have risen a little bit. So Hawthorn are now paying $2. I think Crows are paying $1.80. So it's very. I dare say, come Thursday night, Hawthorn might enter as favourites, maybe.
Yeah, and honestly, it really wouldn't surprise me off of that. But we'll see come Thursday. We've got good old Sally Goat over on X has said, how important is the first quarter going to be on Friday night? We all know what happened last time that we came up against the Hawks and how awful that start was. And I don't think we can afford to have that start to a game again, especially in the second week of September. It would be pretty disappointing if we dish that up again, wouldn't it, Matt?
Well, with both games against Hawthorn this year, it's been strange because Hawthorn obviously dominated us in the first quarter at Adelaide Oval, whereas over in Launceston we dominated them in the first quarter and lost, and then we obviously came back and won our game at Adelaide Oval. So, and you also look at the way Hawthorn played against the Giants. They were 42 points up, and within 10 or 15 minutes of football, they were losing. So it can just change at the drop of a hat. Momentum, the Hawthorn are a bit of a club that they can dominate for large periods of games, but they can also capitulate at any moment. And I just do hope the Crows have the energy and obviously after last week, the desire to bounce back and just get on top of them at some point in the game and win the game.
100%. How about you, Dom? Are you back from letting the cat in?
Indeed. Thank you for saying that on the pod. Apologies for my absence in the last 2 minutes. I had a rather angry cat at my window.
Jesus.
Did you hear the question?
Yeah. Oh man, I think Matt probably summed it up pretty well. It's a weird kind of trend we've got going against the Hawks in terms of whoever seems to come out firing tends to lose the game. But I still think you don't want to fucking aim to, cool it in the first quarter. You still need to come out all guns firing and then just try and maintain the rage. It's obviously going to be concerning. It's a very different scenario to last time as well in terms of how we respond. We had a lot of momentum last time. It's a new feeling for 90% of the playing group coming off a losing final. And you don't want them to start slowly because you don't want them to lose confidence. And even if they do, I'll back in the coaching staff to get it back because they've been doing it all year. But I think we can't afford to be as lackluster as we were in the second game. At home, because like I said, it's very different circumstances, and I think there's potential for it to go down a much darker path than what it did in the home and away season.
Yeah, 100%. I do sort of stand with you there. I think if we go maybe 3 or 4 goes down early, there's going to be a few, are we up for this kind of questions? But we're not going to dive into that because it's not going to happen. We're going to come out, slam 6 goals in them, and we're going to do a real Port Adelaide on Richmond in the 2014 season, I think it was. So anyway, we'll keep on moving. George says Rash should not be included in the team. We discussed that before, and I think that's a load of nonsense.
I've made my comments.
Yeah, I think we've made
my
our comments
stance
there.
clear.
Yeah, we've got the Omen IV. Was that 4? The Omen 4 on X. How do we return proper Roman numerals? Jesus. So the Omen 4 on X said, how do we return to taking how do we return to taking the game on a bit with handballs to players in the clear? Who can deliver the ball to our forwards with less pressure on them? Jamming the ball onto the boot won't win any finals with the way that the Oppo's set up. And I think we touched on that very early in the pod of, I think it's just a pressure thing, isn't it? Just sort of relaxing, hitting that first target, not bombing it in long. And if we do it again on Friday night, they're going to have Barris and Battle sitting there just waiting to eat us up alive. I don't know. Where do you think the game was won or lost, Matt, on Thursday night?
I did watch the Giants versus Hawthorn game, and Giants for a lot of the game they were just bombing the ball forward, and Barras was just marking everything. So you just cannot play that style of football, particularly in a final. Like, you're not going to have players that are just going to mop everything up forward. It's very likely you're going to turn the ball over. So, to answer your question, whether the game be won or lost, I'd like to think it's going to be won in a midfield battle where we finally actually get on top of it. Because I don't really rate Hawthorn as like they. In terms of the star power, I don't think they have that same level of star power that a lot of other teams in the 8 do, but they have a much better even spread of talent. I think there's a lot of underrated players in that team that just continue to do well each and every week. But I think there's no one in that Hawthorn team that has a patch on Jordan Dawson, so you just hope that Dawson can stand up and just take the game on like he did second quarter onwards against them last time.
Yeah, and I do agree with that, and I'm not sure if you've seen Jai Newcomb's stats in September, but they are ridiculous. And I think one thing that I would love to see is Jordan Dawson go to Newcomb and try and drag him out of the contest. If you get Newcomb out of that midfield, they go to dust, I think. So that's a big one that I'd love to see. Sort of throw the magnets around with Dawson, make him go man on man with Newcomb and just outclass him. But well, I'll throw to you, Dom, with where the game's won or lost. What do you think?
Oh, well, I agree. I think the midfield battle is important. I think our midfields are pretty similar in terms of we're both probably lacking one star, but we've definitely got the upper hand in terms of, like Matt said, we've got Dawson, who is a star, and like you said, if he goes to Newcomb, shows him how it's done, then that'll hold us in very, very good stead. Because the midfield battle is going to be very important. The Hawks' defense is very good. I'll give them that. They're very hard to get through in terms of, brass battle in Sicily. That's pretty formidable. And like going back to the original question, it's just about lowering the eyes. Like, they got to trust each other like they always do, moving the ball through the middle, lowering the eyes, looking for targets leading up at the ball, not just going long to a pack. And it all starts with the forward structure, like we've talked about before. If they can return to the normal forward structure and actually give each other the pockets of space they're used to having, which I think Collingwood did a very good job of taking off of us, we'll be fine. Because our midfield normally does deliver in terms of delivery inside 50. Like, Dawson's electric, Peatling's normally pretty reliable. Cummings got a great leg. Curtin's got a great leg. It does blow my mind how poor it was against Collingwood, and I think we'll get that back. And yeah, midfield very, very, very important, and I think we should have the upper hand. Whether or not we actually have it, we'll find out. But on paper, we should be getting it done.
I will just throw in a random fact. No team in the AFL era has ever finished a home and away season first and gone out in straight sets. So you just imagine the backlash. Well, I wouldn't say backlash, but just the knives will be out from the haters and the trolls and everyone if we were to be that one. But also, we've never gone out in straight sets, and our record in home semi-finals is pretty good. So there we go.
Yeah. If we do go out in straight sets, I'll sort of go off the back of these spaghetti arms over an X. If we go out in straight sets, was it a wasted season? I just want a one-word answer, yes or no.
No.
You first, Dom. Matt.
No, because the experience is invaluable, and no one in their right mind realistically thought that a team, not just Crows, any team would finish 15th one year and finish first the next year. But I do think from obviously being outright first, 18 wins and 5 losses, it would feel like a bit of a waste because we've just had such a consistent season. And it's very uncommon a team wins 18 games, not just finish top with 18 wins. It hasn't been done that often, so it would be pretty disappointing if we went out straight sets. I think a prelim loss, that would be a massive tick. Disappointing, but with the team we have and the inexperience we have, you can't say that's a failure. But I think for straight sets, you can probably say it might be a failure just because of how good we've been.
Yeah. I'm going to go straight out no, it wasn't a wasted season, because if you said to me 12 months ago you're going to lose in a semi-final, I would be tick, 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 tick. I know it probably isn't the best circumstance of going out in straight sets, but I think the experience of this season will be absolutely invaluable to this young group, and you just got to hope to God they bounce back. If we are to lose on Friday night, which I really hope we don't, but it is a genuine possibility, and that's just something that we have to look at. Unfortunately, we've got to be realistic here and sort of go in with the thought that we could get done. No one wants that to happen, but it could happen. But the meltdown in socials will just be ridiculous. No one wants it.
I get that a lot of interstate teams and Port fans, pretty much the entire league, is going to come for us if we go out in straight sets. But in the context of the season, yeah, it'll be very disappointing if we go out in straight sets. But you can't call it a failure. Like, the age profile of our list, you know, you take Tex and Brodie Smith out, our average age would drop a ridiculous amount. Like, we're still a young side, and we are so primed for the next 5 to 6 years. No one thought we were going to do anything. You know, the pass mark was making the 8 at the start of the year. We've exceeded all expectation. I think I don't know what it was internally, obviously. They obviously shoot for the stars, but you'd almost go as far to say they weren't expecting to finish top. I don't think any supporter would say they were expecting to finish top. Like I said, context, yeah, it's disappointing, but it's not a failure. Like you've both said already, finals experience is invaluable. Like, it's so hard to get, and the fact that we're getting it into these young players this early will, you know, yeah, it's going to be painful at the time, and we're going to cop it on socials, but it's for a week. Everyone will forget about it after the prelim, but the important thing is the players won't. They'll remember. It'll be fuel, and it'll hold them in good stead. Win or loss, it's not a waste.
I think you can all, in a way, compare it to the side of Brisbane's journey when they first started playing finals. 2019, they went out straight sets. They got humiliated in that qualifying final. Then they had a very close loss to the Giants. And I think a lot of people at that time didn't really sink the boots into Brisbane. I think people were realistic that they were going to remain a decent team after that because they had waited so long to play finals, just like the Crows. So hopefully we have a similar sort of pathway, but I don't want to wait in this pathway. Also, don't want to wait that long to win a flag. But then again, we've been waiting long enough.
Yeah,
I genuinely think with the core we've got, if we don't win it, 2 in the next 5 years is absolutely doable. And given if it's not this year, whatever, like I said, we've exceeded expectation already. But I'm more than happy to wait another year if it means we see 2 in the next 5, 6, 7 years. Like, I'll cop it.
Yep, 100%. And we'll go, before we move on from this week, we've just got one last comment here from our good friend Jake Perkins. All he says is show some fucking spine, which puts it pretty plain and simple, and I think I agree with, to be honest.
No, it's well said, to be honest. But
yeah, look, we're going to move. I think we've dissected it pretty well Friday night. It hurt to spoke about, but I'm not sure about you, but I do feel a little bit better after sitting there and talking shit about it for an hour.
Yep.
I still want to put my head through a wall, but yeah, it's...
Yep, 100%.
It's taking a bit off.
I'll just say, well done to every Crow supporter who managed to get a ticket today. I know quite a few missed out, but as the saying goes, snooze, you lose.
Well said. Well said.
That was my next point, actually, before we go on to the AFLW and the SANFL. The way that Ticket Tech do their tickets is an absolute rort. We've got Katie over on Twitter, she put it pretty well. Of flogging off finals access memberships and goldfish memberships that get the same access as people who go every week is pretty grim. Surely it couldn't be that difficult to sort out a tiered system if Ticketmaster could do it. I'm in the same boat here because, sorry, Matt, just quickly.
Yep.
I was on at 9:30, sitting in this fucking virtual waiting room, I was sitting at work, I was having a coffee, having a good old time, thinking, we're fine this week. How wrong was I? 9:30 I was on, I got 30k. I was 30k in the waiting bay.
Skill issue.
The chick next to me, shut your fucking mouth, Dom.
Massive
The chick
skill
next
issue.
to me at work got on at 9:50 and was 870. What is the point? What is the point
Skill
of
issue.
having a waiting room if this is going to be the issue? Because there is so many people that have been to 11 home games this season and multiple away games, and they're missing out on fucking tickets because Ticketek system is an absolute joke. It is an absolute joke.
I could not believe that a 2-game membership gives you the same access to a season ticket gold membership or just any membership. It's because they were actually selling memberships towards the back end of the year, just the 2-game ones for the Hawthorn and Collingwood game. And I got one because obviously the Collingwood game had sold out and I wanted to offload a ticket. And then I received an email that your 2-game membership was eligible to buy a finals ticket. So the last two games I've scored an extra ticket. And for that to happen over like a gold member, like, I'm not complaining. But if you're a gold member and you've missed out on tickets, I would be ropeable knowing that information.
I agree there in terms of it should be tiered. It should be gold members from 10 till 11, silver from 11 till 12, bronze from 12 to 1, and then everyone else from 1 till 2, general public at 3. I think that's how it should be.
They just want bums on seats and just make as much money as they quickly can. They don't want to wait.
Also, it's not that hard.
It's
like
I think
I
think from my end, like I definitely don't help the situation with doing it at on a redacted company's computer. I won't be naming where I work. But that doesn't help. But even I got through on my phone, okay, and I started at 30k on my phone. I started at 17k on my work computer. I got through to the end, and I got a notification that had said, where is it? So I'm just going to pop it up now. I got a notification that said that they rejected my queue number. That is after 2 hours of being in that queue. I'm lucky enough that I got the tickets that I needed for me and my family. That's fine. But that was after jumping back in the queue, and I got prime time tickets on the wing, in the Eastern Stand, about 4 rows back, up in the Gavin Wagoner stand. I then had someone log in at 12:30 and got tickets in Bay 201. That's in the Bradman stand there. How does that work? I'm sorry, but I know the club has nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with the club, but there is genuine fans out there that are getting fucked over by this system. Just bring out a tiered system. It can't be that hard. It can't be that hard, can it?
There's a lot of coping happening right now. I got in the queue at 9:35. I was 4,000th in queue. I went through the checkout process. Even messaged other people to send me their barcodes so I could buy their tickets, and it was an extremely smooth process. I honestly can't. I can't applaud Ticketek enough, really, for how smooth the process was, how easy they made it. A lot of warnings about having your barcode ready. They couldn't have made it easier, really, and a lot of people that have missed out on tickets are saying the same thing, and to me, it just sounds like a skill issue. It's not hard to go through an online checkout, people.
Yeah. On the back of that little rant there, I did buy 6 tickets, but I actually can't attend. So I'm selling 6 tickets for $500 a piece. If you want to slide into the Twitter DMs, you know where to find us. Actually, the highest bidder. I just did it for the love of the sport.
I've actually bought 4 extras and don't plan on selling them. They're just going to be empty seats, just to take away Hawks fans' ability to be in the ground.
Yeah, and also free up some space as well. You're doing a very good service to us by not going. So.
Need some room in the ground to breathe.
Should we hold a raffle?
Well,
No, I'm perfectly happy leaving my seats empty. I think the people either side of them will be incredibly happy to have that much room next to them. Bit of
Much
room to
slower.
breathe. Put a few thermoses on the seat next to them, perhaps.
Put your feet up. The seat in front of you is empty
Yeah,
as well.
correct.
Yeah, so if anyone does actually want to come to a viewing party with us a Friday night game, we will be at the Strathmore Hotel from 6:30. $10 Imperials, $15 jugs. Thanks, we'll see you there.
For legal
We're
reasons, all of that was a joke. We will
Yeah.
all be at the game.
We will-
And
we
we
will
have
be at the
not
game.
bought extra tickets to not attend.
We will be at the football on Friday night. But anyway, we're gonna move on from the ticket bullshit. We're gonna move on from Friday night. Back of mind now. We're in the present. We're gonna move on to the AFLW.
Oh, another
we went-
L. Can't wait for this.
Yeah. went down by 3 points to Brisbane. They've got the wood over us at the moment. But
Free kick Brisbane
Yes.
is all I have to say.
Yeah.
All I say I'm not a staunch AFLW watcher, but I will say this: Brisbane, you never won the first one. We did. You lost. So that's the end of the discussion. And
Facts, dude.
yes, you might have beaten us 4 years later, but that was a woke season during COVID, so that doesn't count. So
First AFLW champions. You'll never sing that.
Facts.
You'll never sing
insanely
that.
slower.
North
But
Melbourne
anyway.
fans cope and seethe.
Anyway, we're going to get into the scores. Adelaide 6-2-38 to Brisbane 6-5-41. We just tried to play it a little bit too safe in the last quarter and probably cost ourselves the game. It was awful umpiring for the last 2 goals of Brisbane, but we did let ourselves down. But if you do want to go have a look at those umpiring decision, if you pop over to Here We Crow on Twitter, great podcast as well, give those boys a sus. There was a couple that was absolute shockers. The high tackle was... Whew,
The anti-SA deep state has made its way into the AFLW, and there's simply no other way to describe the umpiring at the end of that game.
Yeah, when you've
Ridiculous.
got North Melbourne on top with a percentage of 497, you know you're in some sort of strife.
Yeah.
But look, Noffy was great again. 23 touches, 14 tackles, and 5 clearances. Eloise Jones as well kicked what may have been goal of the year, but I'm not sure if you guys have seen Chloe Malloy's goal from Sydney.
Yeah,
Oh my lord, that was an absolute belter as well.
I mean, Crow's bias, Eloise Jones is better, but yeah, Chloe Malloy's is going to be tough to beat.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
That was very good. But we're going to move on to another L as well.
Oh, yeah.
The SANFL squad went down to Moneybags Norwood by 34 points.
Suck shit.
No AFL in SANFL.
Go on.
I'll get through the scores and then you can go on your rant, Matt. The Crows kicked 10 goals, 10-70 to Norwood's 15-14, 104. We had Harry Schoenberg with 25 touches and a goal, and then Chris Burgess with 3 goals.
Wait, Benny not giving the Strawny his flowers for kicking 3 as well. That's been noted, mate.
Yeah, that has been noted, Benny.
When you listen to this, Ben, you're a coward.
Yeah. Look, we're going off a run sheet at the moment because not one of us watched the SANFL.
I did actually watch a bit of it, and a few disappointing lowlights. I think Sid Draper didn't really lift in the way that you'd hope. Schomburg looked okay in patches, but yeah, it's just not a game worth discussing. None of those players, I can tell you now, are going to be in consideration for Friday night, unless there are obviously injuries and suspensions.
Also, just another... Ben McLean, you need to up your game with this run sheet. No mention of a J Boyle 100th game. Congratulations. Started out as a top-up player, made his way to 100 games, so big achievement. Thank you for your service to our football club when he probably knows that we're never going to get anywhere because the SANFL simply won't let us. Because God forbid a reserves team play in a grand final. But thank you very much, Jay, for your service.
Yeah, and I'm sure Jay, my sources are, he pocketed a nice little bonus of that as well, so spend it wisely, mate. But, look, it was a disappointing way to go out in straight sets after, beating Sturt in the last regular game of the season. But, look, the league hate us. But unfortunately for the league, if we weren't in it, your league would be dead. So I need a little bit more respect on our name because my sources are West Adelaide won't be around for much longer. But look, we're going to move on from that.
Yeah, go on.
No, go on, Matt. You got something to say?
No, the West Adelaide news is news to me about potentially going under. I hope not. Fantastic club Westies, and they produce some amazing players over the journey. So, any financial issues they're having, I hope they get on top of them.
100%. I do agree with that. As much as we do like to sit here and take the piss,
Mutants.
do hope that they do get on top of it, because the SANFL is a great league run by some great people. But
Oh dear.
but anyway, Thursday night we versus Hawthorn for
Friday
a
night.
prelim spot
Friday
against
night.
Friday
night. Huh?
It's
Don't
Friday.
play-
You said Thursday night, my boy.
Did I?
Yeah, man.
Oh, anyway, we versus Hawthorn on Friday night. Am I being gaslit right now?
No,
No, play Friday.
I did say we'll play Friday.
No, you said
you
Thursday.
said Thursday.
Oh, fuck's sake, whatever. Anyway, we play Hawthorn on Friday night for a spot in the prelim against...
It's actually Thursday.
Shut up, Don.
Swear God.
Carry on, Bill.
Any changes to the side?
Taylor out, Hugh Bond out, Rochelle in, and you can take your pick who else comes in for him.
Yeah, who? That's the issue.
I can't
Charlie
think of-
Edwards, bro.
Future
Oh.
pros.
Why isn't
I'm-
Charlie
I'm-
Edwards playing?
I'm seeing a bit for Schellenberg to come
Nope.
back in.
Nope. Nope.
I can't make a comment. I didn't watch the game.
I will be disappointed.
Well, he randomly came in for that Collingwood game. Didn't do it.
I am of the opinion that you back in Zach Taylor to respond. He's been in the team all year. Yes, he had a stinker, but so did so many other players, more experienced players. Like, I think the only change is Hugh Bond out, Rash in, Max goes back.
Mm.
Yeah, but
I don't.
but also they've got the two little fucking rats running around of Watson and Ginny.
What, and you reckon Hugh Bond's going to do a job? He's... Those
Did
two
he not do it
scare me.
against Watson in the first, round 20.
I would rather Max play on one of them and send Miller to the other. Bond, he just... I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably being harsh on him, given he has done quite well, but... It just, I think, I find it hard to see him and Max fitting in the same team when they're both playing in defence, and
Yep.
there's no one we don't need Max playing fourth. There's no one we need to tag. I don't think it didn't work against Dacos anyway, because they just put him in the middle, and that was another area that we lost the game in. But that's fine. We've already talked about it. I find it hard to see Bond and Max in the same back line in terms of...
I think it's a genuine chance now, because Kausha Deer's gone out, so there's no more fourth to the floor. Maybe
your... Love you, Kingy. Listen to Fireball, by the way, if you don't.
Yeah, 601.
601.
But I think there is a genuine chance that they both do play with, and them only playing the three tools. With big old Kausha Deer. Can you drop the fun facts about Kausha, Matt, please?
Well, a few months ago, he was the only Kausha in the world, and then recently there was a woman, a Hawthorn fan, gave birth to a child, and she named it Kausha. So there's now two to my knowledge.
Real original, mate. Thanks for ruining it for him.
Yeah, slower.
Not you, Matt. Sorry, that sounded like it was an attack on Matt.
I think it was.
It
deep-
wasn't. I promise, mate.
It was an attack on the woman who stole the name Kausha.
A very unique name. I actually very much rate the name Kausha, even though no one in the world has it. It's a very nice name.
Yeah,
What
good
nickname
name.
do you go with? Do you go with Kaush?
Kaush for short.
Share. Do you believe?
Oh dear. No pun
That
intended.
was nice, dear. Oh dear, that was nice.
The time of night is really starting to show. For the people that are listening on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday, actually, it is 10 o'clock at night. Dom's had a day at work. I have worked at a very different place today. Matt, not sure what you've done today, but my brain's fucking fried. So
I don't care if people know what I do. I sell alcohol. It's good fun.
Good on you.
Alcohol companies have a lot to answer
They do.
for. And I am part of the problem, I will admit that, but
Don't blame the consumer, blame the seller.
yeah, well said.
Much slower. But look, this game's going to be a cracker on Friday night. The Hawks are coming off a 6-day break. They got Cash Deer out, but, they're not really going to give a fuck, are they? They are... I feel like they're built for it, but I think so are we. It's going to be an absolute ripper on Friday night. I'm pretty nervous for it. They've got Josh Weddle coming back, I think. I don't know if he played last week. I didn't watch the game.
Weddle played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he'll have another game.
He was good. He was good too. Unfortunately,
he hadn't played much footy leading into it. But I think we're going to be up for it with a bit of a young group, and Hawthorn got a young group, and I think coming back to Adelaide for another semi-final after last year, and you're going to have the likes of Jack Ginny. He's built for these type of occasions, unfortunately. So hopefully someone shuts him down.
See, I'm sending Max to him straight away.
Yeah,
100%.
That's what I mean. Like, I'd rather have Miller play on Watson and send Max lock down Ginnivan. Because, like you said, he's built for games like this. He's one of the greatest, like, big game players in terms of he loves spotlight. He doesn't shy away from it.
Yeah.
And it's a concern, but like I said, you send Max to him straight away, and I think they'll probably be expecting that. But it makes the most sense. It's what should happen. I love Hubon, but man, I just don't. Ginnivan versus Jamie Elliott are two very different players, and I just don't know if he has. I don't know if he has the tank to go with Ginnivan is more the issue, because Ginnivan pushes real far up the ground. Gets amongst the stoppages on the wings. It's concerning.
Yeah, it is going to be concerning. But look, I reckon we'll leave it there. Is there anything else that you boys want to touch on? Regarding anything that's happened this week in the world of football?
Oh, not really. More so just go through the predictions. I'll go with Adelaide just. I think it's going to be another very close Hawthorn final in Adelaide. The last two semi-finals they have played in Adelaide, both been decided by 3 points, so I'm going to predict Adelaide by 3 points.
Ooh, Dom.
I'm going to go Adelaide as well. I think it'll be close. You have to back us in. There's been a lot of commentary around being realistic about the result, and there's a difference between being realistic and pessimistic. A lot of people are just assuming, don't get your hopes up. Fuck that. Get your hopes up. It's a semi-final. We haven't had a final like this in Adelaide for 10 years. Use the occasion, feed off it, create a hostile environment, be up and about. Back them in. They'll get it done. Nixie he'll get them ready. We'll be good. We'll get it done.
Yep. My prediction, I'm going to go a little bit left field. I'm going to go the Crows in extra time. Real Flinders Park Atherton type of vibe.
Fuck off. Shut up.
Jeez.
That sucked.
It'd still be it'd be the second extra time final at Adelaide Oval if that was the case. The other one was Port Adelaide versus West Coast 2017, and I was there.
I was also at that game. Great game.
Great.
18th birthday party that night.
Jared Pollock, Cope.
Jeez.
Great. Cracking game of football.
Amazing.
Great game of football. Very much like Atherton versus Flinders Park on Saturday. That was also a great game of football.
You're an idiot.
Look, we're gonna move on there. We're gonna wrap it up because I'm losing my fucking mind at the moment. Fuck. Well, how does Ben wrap this up? Back to the run sheet. He's written it down for me. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Our review of the Hawks game will be out on Sunday afternoon.
I can't wait for this to be edited.
He's not going to edit it. Just leave it how it is.
Organic
pod.
But
If people have got to this point, there's no point putting a bow on the end.
Yeah,
recording
thanks for listening, guys.
You go on.
Go on. No, go, Matt.
We've been recording for 1:19 lol 25.
Respecting history as proper crows should.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. Our review of the Hawks game will be out on Sunday Arvo on Monday night. Go follow us over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the good socials at propercrowspod. Dom, thanks for hopping on.
No worries, mate. Always a pleasure. Looking forward to Friday night.
Matthew, thank you for hopping on.
That's been good. Very much enjoyed it. Roll on Friday night.
And thank you guys for putting up with my ADHD brain. It's been an absolute ride. Hopefully, I don't have to do this again. So,
Yeah, deepest
Crows.
condolences if you're still listening.
Yeah, look, it's been an absolute. It's been a ride. But anyway,
I can't wait to see the retention stats.
Go to Crows. See you, boys.
Go
Bye.
Crows.
Ring the bell! The bell in the city of Kansas! Stand up like Matthew Nix and rule like you never have before!
Jarman again, round